Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Resilient with your host, me, Wintertooth100, and thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I know lately we haven't been doing a whole lot of exciting stuff, and today's probably not going to be super different, so if you're hoping for something to have swapped up for us and changed and what have you, then today's probably not that episode. We are still going to be working on Snow Temple, but today will be, I guess, special in the sense that we're going to do as much of this as we can. There's a big tower in this corner over here that needs to go up, and there's this building, and then after those two, it's just a simple wall design that we need to come up with and then actually build. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm right now in this moment, I'm thinking we're going to complete all of those projects in today's episode, but there will probably be a good chunk of it that will be done off camera. But I am hoping to get at least this tower with the third-person camera, so that way we have something we can view. And while that is going, just know that when we get back, I will at the very least have started this building. But again, my hopes and plans for today's episode are to wrap up this tower, that entire building over there, and the walls, because we have a lot of projects that we need to do, and we've already spent a lot of time here, and I think it's time we should move on. The other areas I expect to take a little longer, a few more episodes than what we would spend here at Snow Temple. Snow Temple had the upside of being pre-built and pre-designed, and the future builds that we're doing do not have that luxury. So let's get out Camera Bear. He's not on the server right now, no one is, just me. Let's break out Camera Bear, let's get him oriented to face where this tower is, and let's do a third-person time-lapse, and when we come back we'll take a look at that tower, this building, and the walls. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Alright, so regarding that time lapse, first I hope you enjoyed it. But second, I made a mistake. I didn't realize that I didn't delete last time's time-lapse off of that particular hard drive, and it cut off early on me because it ran out of memory, and of course it doesn't tell you that. And so here I was, I did a bunch of work thinking it was being recorded, and it was not. Thankfully, I only intended to do a time-lapse for just this tower in the corner back here, and then the rest of it was just going to do off camera. And so we just kind of missed. I got it up to this point where it bulges out, but then in the time-lapse you see I brought it back in and brought it up, and then that's apparently where it cut out at. And it was shortly after that that I decided I didn't like that, so I tore it down back to this bulging out bit, and I kept it at that level and brought it all the way to the top. If you have a keen eye, you notice there's some walls out here, and in fact they go all the way around the entire perimeter where we had designated where the wall's going to be. And we got this guy in. You can even kind of make out that tower from the front. It is the shortest of the three, which was the intention, but now this place kind of really feels like it's one cohesive place. The only thing that I view as a downside to it is that every build has a lot of detail in it, which kind of makes for a sensory overload in my opinion. There's too much detail. Thankfully, this is the snow temple area. There's a lot of snow here and water that then freezes, and then that freezing water on bricks breaks bricks, and they crack and then they fall apart. So when we come back here to fill out the actual puzzles of the temple and figure out the layout and how you're going to have to work your way through it and, you know, actually solve this thing, we're going to be able to come back through here and find the areas that aren't quote-unquote totally necessary. And so for example, let's say that this whole front corner here doesn't work with one of the puzzles, or we need to pull it out because of a puzzle. We can actually tear some of this out and make it look dilapidated and like it's actually falling apart because of the weather and the environment. We could actually have holes here, and we could do like icicles coming down off of the bits where it's, you know, so if it cuts out right here, we'd have icicles hanging down from the bits where it's still standing or still together. So we will be able to come through here and take out some of this heavy detail and be able to put in like environmental detail, like damage to the building. And I think that'll help pull out this sensory overload that we're kind of getting from this area. So that'll be really fun to look forward to and we get to do. But this will be the last episode that we are at Snow Temple for a while. At least until we come to the point where if you're playing the adventure map and the next place to come to is Snow Temple, it'll be until then that we come back, because we do still need to put in the maze up front, and we do need to put in the courtyard and figure out which puzzles are going to go here and figure out which of my bosses is going to be in here and all that fun stuff. But we'll figure that out for the puzzle bit. I have one last thing to note about the build. There are, and we can't see them. Oh, we can kind of see them. I didn't realize we could see those in... Oh, it's adventure mode, I think, that you can't see these. In survival mode, we can. We did put barrier blocks on these, which did mean I needed to go into creative mode. I couldn't do it in survival mode because they're stacked on top of each other. So I couldn't do the stacking trick because then I would be standing on them and then teleported away. I needed to fly so I could keep my feet off of them so they could all get placed. Basically, there's barrier blocks around it so you can't sneak in from the outside, and you can't say like get into this building and then somehow maybe because we've torn out a wall for detail, you can't just walk out and land on the wall and walk to a different part and skip areas because it'll teleport you out of the map. That's what that's there to prevent, to keep unintentional... I don't want to call it cheating because this is Minecraft and you can kind of do whatever you want, but because there's rules for this, it would technically be cheating, unintentional behavior of the map, and that's in place just to prevent that. So let me collect all of my things from the front here. We'll do a quick flyby so you guys can get a nice aerial view of this place, and we're gonna say goodbye to Snow Temple. So enjoy the very brief little flyby.
I'll be watching. Have you made up your mind?
Wow, that last little flyby kind of turned into a little bit of a time lapse, kind of. And boy, oh boy, has this place really come along? It's I watched that last little bit a couple times over myself. I didn't expect I knew this was gonna look pretty cool because I've pre-built the front bit of it, but boy, I do like how this all turned out. But like I said in the last little bit, we are going to move on. The next step we're going to be working on is Kakariko Village, so we need to go back to spawn. There is a quick way back, and that is to sneak up onto one of the walls, because the barrier blocks will teleport us back. But I need to do kind of a little checklist. We want to get everything as up and running and as smooth as possible, so we can get the first temple available for the other members of the server to be able to come here and try it out. So we want to do a quick flyby of some of the terrain, and I kind of just want to see some places and show some places that I know need to be done before we can release the first temple to the other members. And so let's just go over a quick little checklist. So first things first, this giant chasm here is going to need a bridge. We're going to have to come here and build a pretty grand looking bridge, hopefully, matching the theme. We want to kind of use these yellows hopefully for it, and some woods. But if we fly out, this is heading back technically towards the snow biome. This is where we're going to have the Hall of Hero. And if you watched episode 40, I kind of do a brief, or is it 39? One of the two. I do a brief little rundown of where the temples go and kind of what order things are vaguely going to be in. Well, right back here, somewhere back here, is going to be the Hall of Heroes. So that's why we have to do that bridge, because we need a way over here, but we don't want to get stuck over here and constantly have to fly if we don't want to. Plus, when you do this, oop, I touched a wall. See, that's what happens when you accidentally touch one of the barriers. You get teleported. But that little barrier that you can see here on this map, this chasm, goes all the way across, so there's no way to cross this on foot. So if we build a bridge, back in here we'll put the Hall of Heroes. Up there is Snow Temple, so we'll have to update this map once that's completely done. In fact, once all of these are done, we'll have to update the map completely. So once we have the Hall of Heroes, and right here is actually where Kakariko Village goes, which is right there. You can barely see us on the map. Forest Temple's up there, so we're going to have to build that as well. and Castletown. I don't think Castletown's exactly necessary for it, but like I mentioned in episode 40, that we do want to make sure that if the players are going to explore or want to explore, that they're going to actually see the things that are here instead of, you know, we'd hate for them to go up to where Castletown is and it's not there, and then think that they should probably never go back there again because there was nothing there the first time they went up there. So that's what we're going to be working on. It's getting Kakariko put in right over here. In fact, where these two bedrock blocks are is where we're going to center the Temple of Time, because I thought it'd be really neat and flavorful to make it so the Temple of Time is where the hero spawns in at and possibly leaves. It's just like Ocarina of Time. You want to become a kid again, you go back to the Temple of Time and put the sword back. So that's kind of what I'm mirroring with this. But let me get a little home base set up. We're not going to start on Kakariko Village today. Ooh, it's thundering. I do have my other trident, it's just in the chest. But we definitely want to get our little hidey hole home set up. That way we can have a semi-safe place to store all of our materials. We are inside of a mushroom biome here, where this bright green is. You can see that grass over there. The colors change and you see mobs over there. That's outside of it, so we kind of have a... Ooh, it made a charged creeper. That's really cool. But we have a vague place of where we're going to have to build the walls to keep the mobs out, to keep our villagers safe. So let me get something put together real quick and sleep through this. And I will see you guys in a moment. There we go, guys. I have set up our dirt house. Got all of our boxes in place. The only thing we're missing is I couldn't find the second crafting table. And you'll notice that my levels have dropped to 7. I did sacrifice myself to that charge creeper so we can get another creeper head. Totally worth it. I wasn't using my levels for anything, and we have a couple of XP farms. So, nothing to worry about. The head is more valuable than those levels by far. So, with that, guys, I think that's going to be it for today's episode. Look forward to the next few episodes, because now we're going to be moving into village building mode. I don't want to say city building mode, even though it's big enough to be a city. Let's see if I can't get airborne. Yeah, there we go. First try airborne. You can see the bright green of the mushroom. All of this will be a part of Kakariko Village. So it's going to depend on how big we want to make the houses and buildings for the villagers here. Or if we want to include any special mini games here or not. That'll determine how big some of this stuff is. So this will be Kakariko Village in this area. Just a quick little note so you guys have something to wrap your minds around. Once we have all of the locations kind of made up, then we're going to go outside of them, and I mean like all the temples done. Then we're going to come out here and we're going to start doing things in this land that is otherwise untouched, excluding things outside of this harsh line, because that is the wall, the barrier for the map. So you won't be getting outside of that anyway. Alright guys, with that is going to be today's episode. I hope you enjoyed all of the Snow Temple stuff. I hope you don't miss Snow Temple too much, because we're going to be away from it for quite some time. I really hope you enjoyed the time lapses for it. Thank you so much for watching. Really, everybody who comes in and watches all my videos, really appreciate you guys. Let me do the polite thing. Look you in the face. You guys, you're what keeping me going, and it's keeping things fun. And you know what? Some of you guys have already had an impact on the channel. Your thoughts and opinions have been heard, and that's why we're swapping things up, and we're going to move to a building the map in the order that you would play the map function. That's because of you guys. So yeah, thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next one. Leave a like if you like, subscribe if you haven't, share with your friends, hit the notification bell. Seriously, that's a good one. That's a big one. And I will see you guys in the next one.